The Wheel of the Year, okay? You'll have heard of it if you're in pagan or witchy circles. Everyone and their auntie and their auntie's dog and their uncle's banjo has done a video about the Wheel of the Year. And there are some amazing witchy content creators that speak on this every year, basically. And I never have, because they do a better job than me. It's not something I follow very strictly, you could say. Because the Wheel of the Year, it's Celtic / Wiccan, you could say. And I'm neither of those things. But what it is, it's the seasons changing in the year. And we as pagans, we acknowledge it in our own ways, depending on your personal practice and what culture you're from, etc. That can look differently. But these videos that come out are centred mainly around the Celtic and Wiccan idea of the Wheel of the Year. And like I said, as I'm neither, I just don't make those videos. But I've been asked to make them time and again, so this year, right, okay, I'll make them with a twist. My practice is very different to what yours probably is and what these other witches' practices are. I'm not here to give you a huge lecture on things, but I'm going to explain the Sabbats as they're coming up. The first one for this calendar year is Imbolc, so we're going to get into it. And what you can do if you are like me, potentially if you're a Hecatian, or if you're just a bit different. Let's get into it. Now, if you're new here, hello, welcome. I'm Sarah, that divination witch. I hope you stick around. The channel, it's a safe space and a witchy community I've set up to help people. I encourage you to ask questions. Nothing silly here. Ask away. We're all different and we've all got to start somewhere. So put your questions below. If you like that kind of thing, stick around, hit subscribe. And if you want to support the channel further, I've got all my links below. I've got a shop where I offer readings, a website, Etsy. I've got Patreon and memberships. I'm teaching tarot. And on Patreon this year, it's the year of the dark goddess. So each month we're going through the different sorts of dark goddesses. And it's like a path working. We're going through together. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. Thanks. Imbolc. It's coming up on the 1st of February, and it comes around on the 1st of February every year. Some of the other holidays on the Wheel of the Year or celebrations vary depending on certain equinoxes and things like this. Imbolc, to my knowledge, doesn't tend to vary. It's normally around the 1st of February every year. Imbolc is said to be a Celtic fire festival. There are 4 of these throughout the Wheel of the Year, and it is heavily linked with the goddess Brigid or Brigid. Now, Brigid is an amazing deity. She is found in Irish paganism, and not just paganism. I've got a video on Brigid I made a while back in my Deities and Spirits I've Met playlist. Go check it out. Brigid started as a goddess in her own right within paganism, but as Ireland adopted Christianity, she was amalgamated and changed, I suppose, into a saint, and she is known as Saint Brigid of Kildare as well. Some say she is the heart of Ireland, and I suppose she is. It would make sense. Or at least one of many, or a special few that are. I'm thinking of Lou, I'm thinking of the Dagda, I'm thinking of Morrigan, of course. So this festival is very heavily linked with Brigid. Brigid is a goddess of family, of children, of motherhood. She is the hearth and the home. And she is also a smithing goddess. She is a magical goddess. She is very complex, motherly, nurturing, kind, but stern when she needs to be, like any mother is, I suppose. People generally if you are following Celtic paganism or perhaps Wicca, would honour Brigid on this day. And I have done so in the past. I think it was a couple of years back. The video may not be on the channel anymore, but I did live stream something when I was a really small channel where I made some Brigid's crosses, and I dedicated one to Brigid, one to Morrigan, and one to Hecate. That was my own spin on things. But generally speaking, it's like I say, a fire festival, so especially in Ireland, bonfires are happening, celebrations are happening. It's to celebrate a change in season, like all of these festivals are. And the change in season, it's not to say that it's spring quite yet, but it's first signs of life. And the term spring cleaning comes to mind when Imbolc is mentioned. Because of Imbolc being centred around Brigid, the hearth and home goddess, respects are given to her. So we normally do freshen up the home, organise things, declutter, that kind of vibe in her honour. Now, as lovely as Brigid is, she's not my goddess. And you'll find this with some of the Wheel of the Year festivals, because some of them are very much pagan, Celtic pagan, the fire festivals like this one. They're not my gods per se. I do have some Celtic ancestry, yes, and I have worked with the Morrigan. But aside from Morrigan, to my knowledge, I haven't worked with any other Celtic deities. I respect them, but it's just not what I'm drawn to right now. So therefore, for me, the Wheel of the Year, it's been there and I respect it. I live it like everyone else, you know, we go through these changes. But I also don't follow any other strict path, you could say. So Hellenismos, they'll have their own version of this. And I know the Norse, Aesteru, they've got their own version of this. And other cultures throughout time and history have different festivals. I'm thinking of Saturnalia, for example. There are different festivals throughout the year, normally to celebrate changes in seasons and things like this. But I don't follow something strict like that. So sometimes I'll pay respects, but sometimes I forget, if I'm honest. Hecate is my main goddess. Now, I believe Cindy Brannan, who is the author of Keeping Her Keys and some other books, she's got her own coven thing online as well, and her own YouTube channel if you want to check her out. I believe she came up with something that kind of goes along with the Wheel of the Year for Hecate. It's her own way of doing things, calling upon different epithets of Hecate, because Hecate has loads of different epithets. I've talked about it loads on the channel. If you want to learn more about Hecate, I've got a whole playlist on her as well. Go check that out. But Hecate is multifaceted and very complex, so she'll have an epithet to fit with each one of these things, each one of these festivals, each theme of these festivals. So Cindy Brannan has came up with her pathwork in her idea of this. Go check it out if you're interested. But for me, because I am an eclectic practitioner and I don't adhere to just the rules of one thing, even if that one thing is lovely that somebody has come up with, like Cindy, it's still not quite for me. So I thought, right, if you're a Hecatean witch, if you're an eclectic practitioner, what could you do? So I gave an example that one year, following my intuition, I gave a Brigid's cross to Brigid, Morrigan, Hecate, lit them a candle, did a prayer with them. You could do something like that. If you wanted to have a look into Hecate's different epithets, you could do so. And I'll say this for each time, each season, each festival that we speak about throughout the year. What I would say is essential is, if you can, take some time at least to sit with your spirits, whether that's Hecate or whoever, clean up a space for them, light them a candle, and say thank you. Thank you for helping so far. Thank you for the blessings that you've installed and are helping me achieve. I feel like that would be the right thing to do because Imbolc is quite peaceful. It's a peaceful time and it's celebrating changes coming in. You could, if you are following Hecate, offer her your house sweepings. I know that sounds crazy maybe, but in antiquity, as she was a goddess of the home, a protector of the home, sometimes people would offer her the dust as an offering to say, I've done this for you, there's the offering. You could do something like that. With Hecate, she already has her special dates throughout the year, and every new moon is a special date for her. You could honour her with deep non. We do that normally on a new moon, but you could do this on Imbolc. I do believe on 31st of January, which is just the day before Imbolc, is a day for Hecate as well, but a modern pagan take. So you could do deep non for her. You could also honour other hearth and home goddesses that may fit with your practice. So if you're a Hellenic pagan, you could thank Hestia, or Vesta if you're following the Roman pantheon, or Frigg. I know the Norse have their own idea, but if you're eclectic, you could say thanks to her. There are many different goddesses you could say thanks to. Another I thought of, and perhaps it would be more applicable at Ostara, but I did think of Persephone. And Persephone, if you don't know, is the goddess of the underworld and of spring. She is Kori in her spring form. And around Easter time, as the Christians would say Easter, or Ostara time, which is the next Sabbat we'll get to, she arises back from the underworld and is on the surface with her mother Demeter. So because it's stirring, it's stirring for her. It's not quite there yet. You could say, thinking of your Persephone, hope you're well, getting ready for your journey, putting that intention into the coming spring, because this is really the first signs of life with Imbolc, and that's what we're celebrating. That's why it's a fire festival. So it's hard to put any more into words, I suppose. You can make this as personal as you want, but the main theme of this particular Sabbat, of this particular festival, is that the seasons are changing, life is stirring again, we clean our home, we welcome in good energy, and we set good intentions for the year ahead. That's what Imbolc's about. So, there's my video on Imbolc. I hope it helped. Let me know. What do you plan to do? Do you follow the wheel of the year? Do you not? Have you got any other suggestions? You'd say, put them in the comments. Like I say, help each other out. If you made it this far, you may as well hit subscribe. And until next time, stay safe, stay witchy. Bye.